One just little bit, next generation, we've done a number of groups where we get a group together between 10 and 12 people. We sit them around a table. They come together once every 6 to 8 weeks. They are the next generation individuals. So they're anywhere between 25 and 45. Mom and dad run the business. They're next in line to get a hold of it. And we try and give them this sense of comfort where they'll sit around the table for an hour and a half every 6 weeks and exchange stories, some good, some bad. We'll bring a speaker in. So whether it's on insurance, whether it's on estates, whether it's on wills, whether it's on psychology, come in and talk. The rule at the end of the day is very simple. Whoever comes in to speak is not allowed to sell. It's supposed to be a safe zone. So people will come in, they'll sit down, they'll discuss what's going on. The first couple of meetings, everybody's like, you want me to talk about what? How? After a couple of meetings, everybody starts to know each other. And in some cases, you'll end up, we've got a couple of clients that have hooked up, and one of them now, the brother's working at the other guy's company because they got to know each other and that whole exercise. People want this sense of, I'm not the only one suffering here. I'm not the only one whose father thinks at 55 years old, or sorry, at 45 years old and he's 70, that I should still be making 50 grand a year because I'm going to get it all when he dies. A lot of good that's going to do me when I'm 65. So this, you'll have also you'll have the expectation of the group and what's to be involved. Again, the liquidity event basically on the cash out, so nothing that I'm going to spend. I think things to watch for those of you that are either in a family business or consult to a family business, integrity, I think, and innovation are probably two of the key issues. The second one probably being the biggest point. Many family businesses go stale. The creativity is not there. The product ingenuity is not there. Been successful at a certain level. I'm going to drive that into the ground for 25 years. Okay, and all of a sudden it comes time to either transition or move on, and my product's not as hot as it was before. And try and tell that to the entrepreneur who's made a life out of that and who still thinks that product is worth $10 million when the market says to him it's almost obsolete. Again, competence within the organization. Bringing in people at various levels that are not necessarily family members. And then obviously collaboration. I mean, they always say that some of the most successful and most intelligent people are not them themselves, but the people they surround themselves with. That discussion on innovation. Invest in depth, not in breadth. Get some good quality products. Continue to work. Continue to use the government's R&D money. It's there. Take advantage of it. Okay? Become more agile. That big, slow elephant type move of a company. When the economy goes tough, you start to see the good managers separated from the poor managers. You start to see the good companies separated from those that have not been so good. Obviously the key, keeping your suppliers profitable. I mean, so long as your supplier at the end of the day is making money, he's going to continue to do business with you. Okay, and in today's world we're living in, obviously anything with a global brand. I got an email a couple of weeks ago from contact that was looking to acquire a business. The only key issue that he wanted, if they have a global brand, we'll talk. I don't care what industry it's in. If they don't have a global brand, don't even bother calling me back. Okay, that's where the market is. And obviously, capital sources, the guy that's going to put money in today to take it out tomorrow is not going to have any kind of long-term comfort with the banks, with potential investors, with anybody else. Leadership coaching, I mean, I could go on for hours in terms of where that plays in the role of our own organizations, our clients' organizations, within the banks, within anybody, that leadership role. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, whatever leadership that you're creating for your own organization, if I'm consulting outward, the leadership that I've taught my people will end up being taught as they go out and work with other people. Okay, and if you want to maintain, go back to the psychology side of things. If you want to maintain the excitement and the interest level of the next generation, what do they want? They want coaching, 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 maybe some more coaching, maybe something else that's going to make them continue to look good, because the reality is they don't know if they're going to stay with us for the next 40 years. Because you can damn sure they want a good education now so that for the next 7 careers, they've got a base to work with. The title says it all. Okay? When to prune the family tree. At some point in time, the business owner has to make a decision. Am I here for the family, or am I here to run a business? And if little Sarah is not capable of running that business, how do I tell her she's not? What do I do? And do I find a place for her somewhere else? Or do I continue to support and let her work her way through it? Long term, obviously, that's not the right answer. Reality is it happens more than not. Hey, so 7, man, not that far. Summary points. So you want to look at whether you're creating a product or a service, what that marketability is at the end of the day, whether the individual is marketable or whether the company is marketable. Okay, understanding the generational and psychological differences. Part of that presentation I take from a gentleman, Mr. Chris DeSantis, out of just outside Chicago, who has actually come up to our office on a couple of occasions to do some retreats with us and work with us. And he makes a career going from professional office to professional office throughout North America, talking about two things: generational differences and marketing and selling, and then basically putting the two of them together. Okay, it is a full-time job at the end of the day. Formalizing your business, I don't care whether you want to sell it or not. I think the formalization process is important. Obviously, if you want to sell that business in 5 years from now, you better start today in planning and formalizing and putting it together, because whether it's tax aspects for 24 months, holding rules, whether there's a whole bunch of other areas, the reality is you can't do it tomorrow morning and get what the company's actually worth. All right? And then the last question for the entrepreneur is the old Clash song: should I stay or should I go? Right? And that's exactly what you're dealing with. Do I stay on in the transition of its family? Am I going to be encumbering my kids? Am I going to make life difficult for them? Am I actually helping? Do I stay on if I sell it to a third party? The reality is 24 months when you've sold sounds like a long time. Sounds like it's not that long. Very few ever get to the 24-month period on a third-party buyout. Reality is within 12 months, they're at each other's throat. This is my business. You want to do what? And you say, but yeah, I bought it from you. I paid you for it. Doesn't matter. It's still my baby. And I think we've pretty much beat all of those up. And oh, look, we finished with plan. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. If there's any questions or anything, I've left business cards out front for phone numbers and emails. And if there's anything else, you can stop me on the way out after as well. Thank you.